Have you ever been locked in a Battlefield 6 game, going through the enemy team, thinking that you're not doing well, but suddenly you see at the end of the match you have a 3+ KD on the scoreboard, without ever realizing that you did well? Well, that's the state of flow, and entering a state of effortlessness. My name is Worldology. I'm going to explain to y'all how to achieve flow state and what flow state really is to improve your gameplay in Battlefield 6 and in other FPS games of your liking, because flow state is honestly a state of being and generalization in your whole body and your whole system. So let's get into this video. Flow state is a big indicator on how you can achieve true improvement and enlightenment in your gameplay. Flow state is one of the key requirements for increasing the development in your gameplay as well. But many people understand flow state in the wrong way. Like, for example, the more I play, the more I'll be able to achieve flow state. As this is true in some cases, and achieving a state of flow is exactly the way it should be. The more I play, the more I'll be able to focus on a certain situation in the game. It is not exactly the best way of keeping flow in which you can turn it on almost every single time and moment you're actually playing your current FPS game, and even in Battlefield 6 and other Battlefield titles. So, what is flow state? Flow state is an optimal state in which you feel totally engaged in an activity. In a state of flow, you're neither bored nor anxious, and you don't question your own adequacy. And also, flow state is when you're so locked in, you stop consciously thinking about what you're doing and you just react and everything feels effortless. Created by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, the Hungarian psychologist, the father and architect of the state of flow, was the person who brung the concept into existence. He said it occurs when a person's skills match the challenge of the task, leading to an optimal experience where action and awareness merges. Everyone does think different and in different ways, so those different ways can complement your playstyle. So why build a system? Well, from this quote, flow theory, identifying that people are happiest when their skills match the challenge of the task, leading to a state of deep concentration. So when you build yourself a system of multiple things that you love to do throughout the day and throughout the night, you can build yourself in a way that can actually have a positive effect into your gameplay in FPS games, and of course in Battlefield 6, the main game that you are possibly playing in this video, or any other FPS game that you main. So with building systems, it is going to take a while to find your optimal system that you will need to build for yourself long term to be able to actually achieve the final state of what you want to achieve in any FPS game that you are maining at this current situation. With building systems, you first want to start with the habits that you want to build. So pulling up this chart is showing the wheel of flow and how you can achieve the best system for you to be able to achieve flow state in your current game. Looking at the chart, you have multiple examples on your flow chart. So you have the anxiety and the boredom on the flow channel. So with different things that is on the flow channel, you will have a different set of skill and confidence level for each and every single task on the flow chart. Like, for example, rock climbing or playing music, you can have different type of confidence levels or even skill on that, but you could still also do it as a new thing. And the thing is, you cannot be too anxious or even too bored for the specific hobbies that you have right now and are building upon them and are working to perfect them. So the conditions of flow is there are 3 according instances on what you want to do to actually achieve a state of flow. So the first is the activity should have clear goals and progress. It allows for your direction and structure when performing that task. There must be clear and immediate feedback. So for instance, if you die around a corner in the FPS game, or you do something outrageous and you didn't necessarily want to do it, you got to understand and think, why is that? But you also don't want to get irritated at that, which is a balance of your emotions. So with that, you can adjust your performance and maintain that state of flow without having a state of inconsistency. You must also have a good balance of your perceived challenges of the task that you are performing or the situation that you're going against, and your own perceived skills. In other words, you should also have confidence in what you're capable of doing. For some people, they get a bigger benefit of playing against better players. Some don't necessarily get a bigger benefit of playing better better players, or they need to play players below their level, which is for the casual players or whatnot. So for players like me, of course, we do tend to get, well, I honestly do tend to get a little bit more amped up playing against players of my level, because honestly, with playing Battlefield 6, you don't necessarily come across people like me in every single game, because it is honestly a top percentage situation there. But for some people, they honestly, for some casuals or some people out there that isn't really up there on my level or other people's level, they can also still get to that point of wanting to go against people like me, right? Because it is the state of their goal and what they want to do. So they can also achieve a state of flow in playing people like me, and can get actual kills on a person like me in certain situations, and that can go for a good cause. But for also achieving that true cause for your own individual self, for your goals and dreams for yourself, you also want to find a balance. Finding a balance can be very, very difficult, because there are some times where we can procrastinate, myself included, because we're all human here. There are ways that you need to acknowledge yourself and not necessarily go too far on the tip of the scale. So the thing is, the perceived level of your challenge, it can vary, and the more you climb, the higher you climb, it can be pretty difficult to assess what your skill level is, because again, the more you climb, the more there's going to be less people in your level of category, and it's also going to be very difficult to get better in certain situations, because it's hard to depict what you are lacking at this current moment. So if you tip too far in the scale of either direction with the anxiety or the boredom, then you won't be able to achieve a state of flow, and you won't be able to unlock it as you want to. And I'm going to give a little bit of my advice on how you possibly can unlock flow state in a way that you can unlock it in almost any time. So with flow state, you can't really achieve flow state with watching TV or anything. So if you feel like you are in a state of flow and watching TV or doing something that you are stationary instead of being physically active or even mentally active, then you won't be able to achieve a flow state. So with things that you already can feel that time goes by very quick, you need to actually combine that with another type of hobby or situation that you know that you can achieve a flow state, and you can build on those too. So as easier than it sounds, it's still possible, and to achieve a true enlightenment in your gameplay, you probably have to go more than two in different type of hobbies, goals, and everything. You gotta be in the zone at almost all times. And the thing is, that's what makes it very difficult, because we are all human, and we can't necessarily be in flow state in literally any possible situation that we can be in. It only comes in at certain times, but there are certain times where you can actually achieve this state when you feel like locking in. And with finding your type of hobbies and skills that you want to build upon to achieve a state of flow, you also want to look at your energy and your attention. So you don't necessarily want to pick anything that will disregard your attention and also deprive your energy for that time being, or too much, because the thing is, your energy and attention is what can get you in the top ranks if you know how to control those two aspects. The reason why your energy and your attention is because you will focus the most when you have high energy, and if you are paying attention to the game, you will be able to achieve that flow state, which is also another balance situation. And you have to find some different instances or hobbies, whatever, that you can honestly just build upon them, that won't take up too much of your time and too much of your feeling of desire for playing the game at a very high level, because again, FPS games, it takes up a lot of energy, especially when there's a lot of things going on, buildings exploding, everything, bullets coming at you, and it is a very big stress factor. So you also want to build upon your stress as well. Maybe in the next video I can talk about the stress factors in Battlefield 6 or in FPS games, and just see how you can actually control your stress in different situations and everything like that, which is a very difficult thing to do, because honestly, every single situation in the game is, stressful, especially if there's a lot of things that's, wrong with the game. So going back to the energy and attention, you honestly want to have things that is, you know, very high energy demanding and also very low energy demanding, so you can keep yourself on your toes and not necessarily become too lazy on things that are too easy or become too stressed out to things that are too hard before you even play the game. So that is it for this video. I hope you like, share, and subscribe. My name is Worldology. I'll be streaming Battlefield 6 on Twitch and Cake for y'all and YouTube as well. And this is just a quick video on my instance on Flow. Not necessarily a big in-depth guide. I'll probably make one someday, but for right now it's just going to be something to get your feet into the door on improving, and to the people who want to improve. And one note is that it's going to take longer than expected. It's not going to be a very fun journey, but it's going to be worthwhile, especially if you are one of those people who wants to achieve something better in the game or in any other FPS game instead of just staying stagnant and not necessarily playing the game for a optimal reason. So that will be it for this video. All of you have a good day or night, whatever time you're watching, and I'm out.
Fuck! Need a medic!